What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki, back out with another, of course, scary, terrifying, and creepy video from Callan at Slaptam. We're about to dive into his newest video. Oh, the scary video is so real, they got people fired. That's pretty big business right there. So grab a chair, grab some popcorn, your extra pair of pants. It's spooky time, but first, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon that says subscribe. Hit the bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification. That's Woki myself. It's ringing. It's ringing. Watch it right now. Okay, and then don't forget to comment, share, and then hit the like button as well. All that helps out our channel, and it's free to do. And then don't forget to go over to Slaptam. Go give him some love. I mean, the man doesn't need my help. He's got 3.5 million subscribers. And with that being said, let's get into the spooky time.
Scary videos. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content.
Can someone please tell me why I'm working lockdown unit and see this on my camera?
Just like this.
I wonder how he got Slaptam, like the name.
Here's a nice scary video.
Like, was he watching a scary video and then he got scared and then he had some ham on his plate and he slapped it by accident? He's like, oh my gosh! Slapped ham! There we go. I don't know.
Start today's list off right. A certified nursing assistant who goes by the username Your Fave Bipolar recently shared security footage from the aged care facility where she works, and what it captured has left viewers struggling to explain what they're seeing.
It looks like some creepy thing hugging a pole. The ghost looks like it's trying to work, what you see me do me dirty. I don't know how the words will go, but
the footage comes from a locked Alzheimer's and dementia unit. It's the kind of ward where every door requires a code and residents are carefully monitored around the clock. No one should be wandering the corridors unaccounted for, but that's exactly what the camera appears to show.
So is it a person that got out of their room and they're just working that pole?
At several points, the figure appears to have glowing eyes.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Staff on duty that night reportedly confirmed no one was in that section of the building at the time the footage was recorded. Some commenters have pointed out that dementia patients sometimes move in unusual, unpredictable ways that can look eerie on grainy night vision cameras. But those who work in aged care have long spoken about unexplained occurrences in these facilities. Stories of call buttons pressed in empty rooms, voices heard in corridors after lights out, and the uncanny phenomenon of residents appearing to converse with people who aren't there, or at least people the living can't see.
What do you think that is? A patient or a spooky ookie? I don't know. I always told my kids, don't put me in a nursing home, man. Just put me out back and put 2 rounds in me. I don't want to be in a nursing home.
I just moved into this house like 2 weeks ago.
A TikToker who
loving the fireplace. Take the gold off. I don't know how, like if you could paint the gold or whatever, but other than that, I love the fireplace.
Goes by Honeybell of Ontario has been documenting some deeply unsettling events inside her home, and what starts as one strange discovery quickly
Somebody's been living in her crawl space. How big is it?
Spirals into a series of scary videos she can't explain.
And I must have left the light on up there. I don't remember leaving the light on.
It begins when she returns home after dropping her daughter off at her father's house. She walks through the door, still wearing her coat, and immediately notices something wrong.
I am freaked the f out. I just got home and tell me why my chairs are like this.
Was the ghost mopping?
Like what the? I literally still have my coat on.
The chairs around her kitchen table have been moved, not just shifted slightly, they've been stacked.
I'm like shaking right now. I just went and dropped my daughter off to her dad's house, and all the chairs were around the table.
She was the only person home. The doors were locked, and she is visibly shaking as she films the scene, struggling to make sense of what she's looking at.
I'm like shaking right now. I just went and dropped my daughter off to her dad's house.
I feel like we need
And
more.
all the chairs were around the table.
Like, we see the chairs now, but what about the crawl space? I want to know about the crawl space. Is there anybody in there?
But that's not the only thing troubling her.
Good.
In an earlier video, she takes her followers on a tour of the house and brings them upstairs to a room.
Is it just me, or do you guys do this too? I know this is not anything to do with scariness, but do you guys just go like window shop on Zillow for like houses that you can't afford? I feel like I was doing that for an hour last night, looking at houses that are like 400K, 500K, 1.6 million. I'll never see that kind of house, but it's just kind of like, ooh, I put my couch there. Ooh, I do that with my studio, but you're just window shopping on Zillow. It's just funny that she said that they were looking around the house and kind of showing the house, and I was doing that on Zillow.
He's already been calling the spooky room.
The spooky
Okay, I picked
room?
my mom up from Toronto yesterday, and I wanted to show her the house. So of course, I showed her the spooky room.
She doesn't remember leaving the light on in the room.
I must have left the light on up there. I don't remember leaving the light on.
There's a crawl space up there sealed off by a wooden panel. Only when they arrive, the panel is lying on the ground.
Look into that wooden spot over there. And she's like, what wooden spot? That's because it's down there.
Oh, snap. I would call that not a crawl space. I
Her
call
ex
that
tells
an
her
attic.
it was probably just the draft
Crawl space would be like what's underneath the house.
that knocked the panel loose, and there is a strong draft up there. She tries to convince herself that's all it was, props the panel back into place, and decides she's going to nail it shut. She
Probably
then
a
keeps
good
looking
idea.
around the room when something unnerving happens.
I'll go nice in my kitchen. Oh,
It did it again.
So it must have been the draft. I'll have to get somebody to come in.
The door she had just propped up falls to
I have a curious question. Are we not going to talk about the bowl that's sitting? It looks like a dog bowl. Is it filled with something?
the ground.
Nail that on or something.
Why
or
is there-
I'm gonna do that actually. I'm gonna go get some nails right now.
But there's another detail
I can't tell what's in there. It looks like a dog bowl.
that caught viewers' attention. At around the 36-second mark, if you look closely into the darkness of that crawl space, there appear to be two faint, glowing points of light staring back at her.
It could be
Almost
a
like eyes watching from the shadows.
hole, maybe in the.
No.
I don't know what this silver bowl is in there.
Back there.
What is that?
No.
She doesn't seem to notice them at the time, but thousands of commenters did.
No. There's cushions back there.
I mean, it could be a hole in the wall. I
Then
mean,
comes the third video.
Ooh.
She set up a camera inside her home, hoping to catch whatever's been causing these disturbances.
oh.
And what the footage appears to show is a door slowly opening on its own.
The only thing I don't like is the door wasn't completely closed. If you looked at
She
it,
believes she may have captured a poltergeist on camera. Taken individually, each of these moments might have an innocent explanation: a draft, a trick of the light, a door that doesn't latch properly.
well, it must be a draft up there because they got plastic to block out the wind that's coming through.
But taken together, the stacked chairs, the torn off panel, the glowing eyes, the door opening by itself, it paints a picture of a home where something uninvited may be making itself comfortable. What do you think is going on in this house? Could there really be something lurking in that crawl space? Let us know in the comments.
Oh.
Let's face it, all of us that would have
Okay.
been at that place, we would have lost
So it
our
must have been the draft. I'll
marbles
have to
if
get
that fell.
somebody to come in.
Oh, I hate
A
hospitals.
security camera inside what appears to be a hospital or aged care facility captures something that's left viewers genuinely.
I'd rather die in my bathroom on the toilet than die in a hotel or in a hospital. That's how serious I am.
Rattled.
Oh, this is that one. What's his name? Dustin. Got that creepy thing that follows it. Oh, I got goosebumps. Feel? It looked like a golf ball.
Right there on the screen behind them, you can clearly make out what looks like a figure standing in the middle of the frame. The television isn't even switched on.
Yeah, the reflection.
The person turns back to face the room, and just like that, the figure is gone, completely vanished.
At least there's hand sanitizer.
Now, facilities like hospitals and nursing homes are often reported
I don't even think that was a hospital. I thought that was a restaurant.
to be hotspots for unexplained activity. It makes a kind of sense. These are places where people pass away regularly, where grief lingers in the corridors. If spirits do remain tied to the places where they spent their final moments, you'd expect to find them here. What stands out about this clip is just how clearly the figure appears. It's not a shadow, it's not a smudge on the lens, it's a distinct shape standing upright, visible for only a moment before it disappears entirely.
And it's not there.
Could this be a genuine paranormal encounter caught on a security camera, or is there a simpler explanation?
I don't know. That's why I'm bringing it to you guys. It's a spooky ookie that's wearing a white robe. Next. Oh, hello.
A woman going by the username Urban Beauty Ming recently shared Ring doorbell footage sent to her by her sister. And what it captured in the middle of the night has viewers convinced they're looking at something that shouldn't exist. The clip was recorded outside her sister's home, which sits just 10 feet from a church. It's late at night, the street is empty, then something appears.
Again, it could be camera compression where it can't.
A figure moves across the frame. It appears to be wearing a long white robe. The figure passes through the camera's field of view and disappears.
Could be a muumuu dress. My grandmother used to wear those muumuu dresses all the time.
The sister's husband initially suggested it was probably an animal. But when they actually reviewed the footage, that explanation fell apart quickly.
An animal? You
The
see
figure
it
looks
walking
oddly
like a
small
human.
compared to the surroundings.
I think it's just where the camera can't keep up with it and it doesn't know what it sees. But it looks really
The
small.
proximity to the church is a detail that's hard to ignore. Throughout history, churches, cemeteries, and other sacred sites have been hotspots for reported apparitions. Whether you attribute that to spiritual energy, psychological expectation, or pure coincidence depends on your perspective. The original poster said she got literal goosebumps watching it, and judging by the comments, she wasn't alone.
Yeah.
So what do you think was caught on that Ring camera? A neighbor out for a late night stroll, a trick of the light, or something from the other side?
Get myself all chillied up in heels. It's only super scary unless you have goosebumps on your butt. Oh.
A series of baby monitor clips have gone viral after appearing to show a young child having a conversation with someone who isn't there. Someone the family
Grandpa?
believes is a deceased relative. The child can be heard speaking clearly, apparently responding to questions and reacting to a presence, referring to
They always say that kids can see things that we can't, and animals too, dogs, cats. I don't know about your goldfish, but all it probably thinks is food.
the unseen figure as Pop Pop. According to the family, Pop Pop is a deceased grandfather.
The only thing that bugs me is there's nothing inside that crib.
What makes these clips particularly unsettling is what happens in the background. At one point, a shadow appears to sweep across the room. A distinct dark movement that doesn't correspond to anything visible in the frame.
That's a bit creepy. I swear I heard it.
There's also a brief but noticeable camera glitch accompanied by an audio stutter
Oh, that almost scared me. I was like, who's coming through the door? It's Mom.
and a momentary pause in the feed.
Hey, buddy. What's the matter? You miss Papa? Papa's there. In the corner? It's okay, honey.
Baby monitors are known for occasional interference
I'd be like, son, you're going with me in the bed tonight. I'm not leaving you in this crib.
But the timing, right as the child appears to be interacting with something, has struck a nerve with viewers.
Hey, buddy. What's the matter? You miss Papa? Papa's scared. In the corner.
Now it's worth noting that some observers have questioned the authenticity of at least one of the 3 clips. The first segment, they argue, has visual qualities that could suggest AI generation. The movement looks slightly off.
I was kind of thinking the same thing too with AI nowadays. But again, on channel Zowoki, we don't care if it's real or fake. We just care that it's going to scare us. That's what we want.
And there are subtle inconsistencies that experienced eyes have flagged. But the other clips appear far more straightforward, and many viewers believe the interaction is genuine. A child too young to fabricate a complex scenario, simply responding to someone they can see, but we can't.
Hey, buddy. What's the matter?
Stories of children communicating with deceased relatives are surprisingly common. Parents across cultures and generations have reported similar encounters. Kids describing people they've never met in life, using names they shouldn't know, referencing details that check out. Whether it's a comforting sign from beyond or simply a child's imagination filling in the gaps of family stories they've overheard, it remains one of the most debated phenomena in the paranormal world. Do you think children can genuinely perceive things adults can't, or is there always a simpler explanation?
I think they can definitely see things that we can't.
Where are you going? Candy.
Candy?
No, now.
You hear the mumbling.
Hey, buddy. What's the matter?
TikTok user Kath Jenkins Knoll shared this unsettling clip, and it's one that's hard to explain. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary moment, a toddler laughing during nap time, but things start to get eerie.
If she starts levitating.
What do you think? Is this kid just being silly, or should the parents be a little more worried?
What was in that milk bottle? Just slip some holy water in her milk. She'll be fine. She might steam once in a while here or there, but I think she's just being a goof. It's a bit creepy. Ah, it sounds
The New York Post is reporting a sudden wave of Bigfoot sightings across northeast Ohio.
Or my ex-wife.
And the sheer number of reports in such a short window has even seasoned researchers paying attention. According to the Bigfoot Society, at least 7 separate sightings have been reported in the region since last Friday.
My mom and I were talking about just briefly talking about Bigfoot and so forth. And I was like, if we would have found Bigfoot, we would have him in a zoo by now. I don't necessarily think that he's real, but again, I could be wrong. Who knows?
Alone. 7 in one corner of one state in under a week. The area in question has been described as one of the gloomiest parts of Ohio. Heavily forested, sparsely populated, and the kind of terrain where something large could move through without being easily spotted. Details on the individual sightings are still emerging, but reports describe a large, upright figure seen at the edges of wooded areas, often at dusk or dawn. Several witnesses reportedly didn't know about the other sightings when they came forward, which investigators say adds a layer of credibility. Now, Ohio isn't typically the first state people associate with Bigfoot. That honor usually goes to the Pacific Northwest, but the Buckeye State actually has a long and surprisingly rich history of sightings, particularly in its rural northeast counties. Skeptics will rightly point out that clusters like this can be driven by suggestion. Once one sighting makes the news, people start looking harder and misidentifying bears, large dogs, or even other people in low light. But proponents argue the opposite, that clusters happen because something is actually there, moving through an area, and multiple independent witnesses are encountering it. The fact that a major outlet like the New York Post is covering this rather than just niche cryptozoology forums suggests the story has legs. Whether those legs belong to an undiscovered primate or just a very confused bear is the question everyone's asking. What do you make of 7 sightings in 1 week? Mass hysteria, misidentification, or could something actually be out there in the Ohio woods?
Or something's in the water in Ohio. Kidding. Okay, we're looking at a picture. I feel like I need to look at it before he says, do you see it? I mean, the head of this person in here looks a little weird, but that could be a camera glitch.
A viewer named Scott Sigmund sent us this next photo, and the story behind it is genuinely chilling. On the 22nd of March 2024, Scott, his wife and their children took a ghost tour through the historic downtown area of St. Augustine, Florida.
Okay.
One of the oldest cities in the United States and a place with a deeply haunted reputation. As the tour guide recounted stories of people being beheaded near Flagler College, Scott's wife decided to snap a photo on her iPhone. No filters, no editing, just a standard camera shot. But when they looked at the image later, something was very wrong.
I think that's what they're talking about. Here I'm looking up in the windows. I'm like looking all over the place. Where is it? And I'm like, oh, it's this guy's head. Kind of like cut off and stacked.
In the photo, a figure appears to have a strangely distorted face, almost as if, in Scott's own words, his head turned into a Dali painting. The features are warped and surreal, as though reality itself bent for just a fraction of a second.
Aye.
Scott says this wasn't the only strange experience his family had that night. He mentions the area's ley lines, invisible lines of energy that some believe connect sacred and paranormal sites, and says they felt something unusual throughout the tour. The Sigmund family are longtime fans of this channel, and we're grateful.
Let me guess. This guy wasn't even there.
They shared this remarkable image. But what do you make of it? Is this a simple camera glitch, or did Scott's wife accidentally photograph something from the other side?
You be the judge.
A driver is heading down a dusty rural road in the dead of night, somewhere believed to be in sub-Saharan Africa, when their headlights pick up something they weren't expecting.
A child with cows.
Some people who've seen this footage believe it could be evidence of a tokoloshe, a creature from southern African folklore said to take the form of a small figure and appear in the night. Others reckon it's simply a young herder watching over the animals. But at that hour, in that kind of isolation, the whole scene is deeply unsettling.
A toku coulda what? That's like, is he waving?
What do you make of this? Is there a rational explanation, or is something far stranger going on here?
Or does the child need direction? There's a lot of what ifs, but I don't know. Just back up.
A TikTok user filming
Spotted from my sweet ghost ship in Antarctica. What is that? The Black Pearl? That Captain Jack Sparrow?
from her cruise suite window while sailing through Antarctic waters captured something that sent the internet into a frenzy and racked up over 25 million views in the process.
Captain Jack Sparrow. Don't they have like boats where they can do this, like, for, I don't know if it's gonna be like in this rough terrain kind of sea, well, this is in Antarctica. Also, do they take cruise ships down to Antarctica? I don't know. I've never gone on a cruise because, hello, Titanic, Poseidon, not happening. Plus, I don't like the water.
In the clip uploaded by Lucy.Jets, a large vessel can be seen in the distance.
It's a ghost ship.
It appears ancient, tall masts, weathered sails, looking as though it belongs to another century entirely. Against the stark, icy backdrop of Antarctica, it's a deeply unsettling sight.
I mean,
The
good luck
video's
trying to
creator,
have,
Lucy,
good luck trying to navigate with that thing.
was clearly stunned, and so were the millions who watched it. Comments flooded in with theories ranging from a portal in time to a ghost ship doomed to sail the Southern Ocean for eternity.
That would suck. Talk about the motion sickness.
But here's where the story takes a turn. The vessel was eventually identified as the bark Europa.
Okay, whew. I was gonna say, let me guess, it's one of those like attractions that goes on the water once in a while.
A steel-hulled bark originally built in 1911 in Hamburg, Germany. She's very real and very much still operational.
Wow.
The Europa runs expedition voyages to some of the most remote waters on the planet, including regular trips to Antarctica. With her traditional rigging and historic silhouette, she genuinely looks like something from another era. And in the fog and isolation of the Antarctic, it's easy to see.
I mean, it definitely looks like it's from a different, I mean, it is from a different era, but it's lasted this long.
See how she could be mistaken for something otherworldly.
And if she probably had 2 margaritas, she's probably like, honey, come look at this ghost ship. Can you see it too? Honey, did you have too many lemonades? Yes, they were a little dirty. Ooh, the Mars
Two
rover.
photographs taken by NASA's Mars rover Curiosity, one from 2014 and another from 2026, both appear to show something that shouldn't be there.
Something flying.
In each image, taken years apart, an anomalous object can be seen in the Martian sky.
Look at
The
the tracks
photos
from
are
the Mars
sourced directly
rover.
from NASA's publicly available raw image archive, meaning they haven't been filtered through editing software or third-party processing. The 2014 image was captured during Curiosity's traverse of Gale Crater. High in the frame, a small but distinct object is visible against the pale Martian sky. It doesn't match the profile of any known debris.
I still find it fascinating that we have movies of us going to Mars and so forth, but yet we've never actually been to Mars besides robotics. I feel like we should have been there by now.
Dust devil or camera artifact typically seen in rover imagery. The 2026 image, taken over a decade later, shows a strikingly similar anomaly. Again in the sky.
It takes 7 to 9 months to get to Mars.
Again without an obvious explanation. Researcher Gene Ward was among the first to highlight the connection between the two photos.
Creepy.
Ward points out that the objects share visual characteristics despite being captured years apart by the same rover in what appear to be different locations. Now, the skeptical explanations are worth considering. Mars has
Is it a Chinese balloon?
an atmosphere,
On
and while
Mars.
it's thin, it can produce visual effects. Cosmic rays striking the camera sensor can also create bright spots that look like objects, but are actually just pixel damage. NASA has attributed similar anomalies to these causes in the past, but for those who study unidentified aerial phenomena, the idea that UAPs might not be limited to Earth's skies is a tantalizing one. If these objects are genuine and not sensor artifacts, then something is flying through the Martian atmosphere, and we have no public explanation for what it could be. Are NASA's own cameras capturing evidence of something extraordinary on Mars? Or is this simply a case of cosmic rays and overactive imaginations?
I mean, we've seen like pictures of doors apparently in Mars and
But just
water
one thing I want
molecules.
to throw out here, and I want to cause a bit of mischief with the US government.
Investigative journalist Ross Coulthard has made a claim that even by his standards pushes into extraordinary territory.
Portals?
I've just been somewhere in the United States where I know there is another portal, and I know the United States knows about it.
In a recent interview on the American Alchemy podcast, Coulthard alleges that he personally visited a fenced-off site somewhere in the American Southwest. A local
Let me, what is this? Stargate? Hello, Area 51. They got some weird stuff going down there. We don't know what's going on.
Location guarded by the US Forest Service under the cover story of protecting ancient ruins.
That's Stargate.
And I was there just the other day. And guess what? It's got a big fence around it, lots of security signs. It's supposedly US Forest Service. But you know what? It's not.
Does anybody know if this guy's still alive? Because usually if they talk, they get shot.
And it's supposedly ancient ruins of tribal art. And you know what? It's not.
But according to Coulthard, the ruins aren't what's really being protected.
What
He
is it?
claims the site contains a functional interdimensional portal.
What's happening is that the United States is using the US Forest Service and claims of the protection of archaeological relics to keep secret from the public a portal on US soil. There, Megan.
Now, before you dismiss this outright, it's worth noting who's making the claim. Coulthard is an award-winning journalist with decades of experience in investigative reporting. He's not a fringe figure. He's broken major stories on defence and intelligence matters in both Australia and the United States.
Is he still
The claim
alive?
also echoes earlier investigations Coulthard conducted in 2025 into Bradshaw Ranch near Sedona, Arizona, a property with a long history of UFO sightings, strange lights, and what locals describe as vortex energy. Native American oral traditions in the region speak of doorways to other realms, and modern New Age practitioners have long been drawn to the area for similar reasons.
Let's not worry about portals right now. Let's worry about bringing the price of gas and groceries down first before we start opening up portals.
Reactions online have been predictably polarized. Some UFO enthusiasts see this as further evidence of government secrecy around anomalous phenomena. Skeptics, meanwhile, are demanding verifiable proof, something Coulthard has so far been unable to provide publicly.
There is another portal.
The use of the Forest
Where?
Service as a cover is an interesting detail. It's a civilian agency with broad land management authority, making it an ideal front for restricting access to sensitive areas without raising the kind of red flags that military security would. Is Ross Coulthard onto something that governments have been hiding in plain sight? Or has one of journalism's sharpest minds been led down a rabbit hole with no bottom?
Or walk
What's
below
happening is
too
that the
many,
United States is
Stargate
using the
SG-1.
US Forest Service and claims of the protection of archaeological relics to keep secret from the public a portal
What
on
kind
US
of
soil.
relics?
There, Megan.
Human or not of this world?
A hospital worker's colleague was filming a light-hearted video during a late-night shift when the camera captured something no one expected.
A ghost. Oh. Let me guess. There's nobody in
The
the
scary
window.
video was taken on a hospital unit that used to serve as the old pediatric ward. It's since been repurposed, but staff say the history of the floor is well known, and for some, it's a source of quiet unease during overnight shifts. In the clip, posted to Reddit by user Tough
When the doctor says he'll be back in a moment and it takes like half an hour, this is what they're doing.
Tangerine 9454, you can definitely see a childlike figure scoot past in the reflection.
Yep, that's our doctors.
According to the person who shared the video, there was no one else on the unit at the time. No children, no other patients in that section of the
And
corridor.
watch, it's like 5 floors up and there's no way
Former
for that to happen.
pediatric wards are among the most commonly reported sites for paranormal activity in hospitals.
Aye.
Staff across the world have shared similar stories. The sound of small footsteps in empty halls, children's laughter heard through walls, and fleeting glimpses of small figures that vanish when you look directly at them.
That would be my last day.
Was this simply a trick of the glass and bad timing, or did the camera catch a glimpse of one of the ward's former patients still wandering the halls?
That's a bit creepy. You don't even see the person's reflection. It's recording.
A TikTok creator, Shwama Hama, decides to sneak into Chicago's Congress Plaza Hotel for some late-night ghost hunting, and ends up getting far more than they bargained for.
The Congress Plaza.
That's a
Yeah,
marble
this is like
floor.
a fancy. Oh my goodness, dude.
Holy buckets.
Wow.
The Congress Plaza Hotel opened in 1893 and has been a fixture on Michigan Avenue ever since. It's also widely considered one of the most haunted hotels in America. Over the decades, guests and staff have reported shadow figures, phantom sounds, and rooms so unsettling they've been permanently sealed off.
You say where this was?
In the first clip, the creator is creeping through the hotel's corridors when they're spotted by a security guard. You'd expect that to be the end of it, and escorted out, maybe a warning. But instead, the guard does something unexpected.
Come with me, I got more spots.
Rather than kicking them out, he offers to take them on a personal tour of the old Golden Ballroom.
That's what's up. That's an awesome security guard.
A grand space that's been the site of countless paranormal reports over the years.
Beautiful architecture.
And then the guard pulls out his phone.
That's a shadow.
Dude, what the heck?
That's
Oh my god.
such a good photo.
Whoa.
He shows them photographs that he and other employees have taken inside the hotel.
Wow.
That's weird, dude.
That is so cool.
In one image, what appears to be a transparent figure is sitting on a bench, visible enough to make out a shape, but clearly not a solid person. In another photo, a second translucent figure can be seen in a different area of the hotel.
Oh.
The guard says these images are well known among staff and that most long-term employees have their own stories. The Congress Plaza has a grim history. It's been linked to multiple deaths, including suicides and at least one murder.
I say, let me guess. Back to the mafia days when they're doing all these speakeasies and stuff.
Several floors have sections that remain closed to guests, and room 441 in particular has a reputation for violent paranormal encounters.
Why?
When even the security guards are giving ghost tours instead of sending people home, you have to wonder what exactly is lurking in the halls of the Congress Plaza Hotel.
That's creepy though.
A home security camera has captured something genuinely unsettling, and the scary footage has left viewers divided.
Oh, we've seen this one before. Girl, get some shoes on. And she steps on a rock and you're like, hello, you could have, she probably passed her shoes.
As the woman walks to her car, you can see a figure. It appears to walk straight into her home.
I can't tell if it's a figure or if it's just like, that's just not just some
The scary
random
video
miss.
was originally shared on Reddit roughly 3 years ago. According to the person who posted it, the clip hadn't gained much attention online until now.
What is it?
What makes this one particularly
Oh, she
eerie
does
is
have
how
shoes.
solid the figure appears. It's not a
Flip-flops.
faint orb or a smudge of light.
Like a mass, and you can see
Some
it looking
viewers
like it's
believe
walking.
this could be a genuine paranormal encounter, a spirit or shadow person following the homeowner inside without her knowledge.
It's not a shadow, it's a foggy thingy.
So what do you think walked into that house? A shadow cast by the porch light? Or something that doesn't belong there at all?
Something that doesn't belong there. Got really quiet.
Think the
Oh, get
chills
some
stop
merch!
here? Not quite. Our merch store is packed with haunting designs.
I have my
A
own
viewer
merch.
named Linda sent us this scary video from St. Augustine, Florida, one of the
Is this the St. Augustine Lighthouse? Because that's where I want to go someday. Plus, I love this look. Oh, it looks so. Ooh, I think that's it right there. Is that what it is?
oldest and most haunted cities in the United States. Linda was on a guided cemetery tour when she decided to film through the wrought iron fence. The group wasn't allowed to enter the grounds, so she simply panned her camera across the darkness beyond the bars.
What did she get?
At the time, she didn't notice anything unusual. It was only later, back at her hotel, that she reviewed the footage and spotted it.
What just passed?
When slowed down, the shape becomes even more difficult to explain.
What does it say? Was it like a finger or something? What is that?
St. Augustine has a long and dark history. Founded in 1565, it's seen centuries of conflict, disease, and death.
Ooh.
The city's cemeteries are among the most storied in the American South, with reports of apparitions, phantom lights, and disembodied voices going back generations. The Huguenot Cemetery, located right in the heart of the old town, is said to be one of the most active sites. Visitors and tour guides alike have reported shadowy figures moving between the headstones after dark.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Linda insists there was no one inside the cemetery when she filmed. The gates were locked and the tour group was standing outside. So what exactly raced through the darkness that night? Could this be one of St. Augustine's restless dead caught on camera? Or is there a simpler explanation hiding in the shadows?
I don't know. It looks like a gaming piece from the game Sorry.
A viewer named Scotty sent us a series of photos taken at his workshop, and one of them
Let me guess. There was nobody at the workshop besides you, and then who's this?
contains something he can't explain. Scotty was snapping pictures to send to his girlfriend, just casual shots of the shop. He took them in quick succession, one after the other, and didn't think twice about it.
He just took
It was
them and
his
sent
girlfriend
to her.
who noticed it first. She texted him saying she'd zoomed in on one of the photos and spotted what looked like a face hovering just above his shoulder.
Who's the girl with you? Probably.
Scotty went back and looked. Sure enough, there it was.
Oh.
What appears to be a face staring downward at him, partially cut off.
Well, I'm never taking pictures of myself again. I don't want this to happen to me.
Here's what makes it harder to dismiss.
He was alone.
The photos were taken in rapid succession. In the frames before and after, the area behind Scotty is completely clear. Whatever this is, it appears in only one shot.
It was like ting, ting, ting.
Scotty admits he's not sure if he's seeing what he wants to see. The power of suggestion after his girlfriend pointed it out. But the more you study the image, the harder it becomes to
I mean, you can see an eye, you can see a eyebrow, you can see the hair.
write off as a trick of the light or a simple reflection.
In one photo? I don't know. How much your thoughts below?
This CCTV footage was captured inside a supermarket in Russia, and it's got a lot of people talking. A small, dark,
Probably a fly on the camera.
transparent shape begins to move across the frame.
That one looks like a bug.
At one point, it pauses mid-air, just hanging there, completely still.
What it is.
Now, skeptics have pointed out that this is exactly what an insect or a small piece of debris looks like when it lands on or near the camera lens.
Sure would.
Because it's so close to the sensor, the infrared light makes it glow, and the lack of focus gives it that ghostly, translucent appearance.
Makes it look a little
But others
fuzzy.
aren't so sure. They say the shape moves with too much purpose. Some even believe it could
Maybe it's a fly doing errands. I mean, come
be a
on.
spirit lingering in the store. So what do you reckon? Is this a restless presence caught on security camera or just a late night visitor of the six-legged variety?
I'm gonna say it's a fly. It's some type of bug. This one is actually, I think, a bug.
Reddit user Brandonum69 shares security camera footage
Ah.
that appears to show something or someone sitting inside their parked car in the middle of the
In
night.
their car?
The outdoor camera flagged movement at 2:02 a.m. and again at 2:05.
Or is it the branches above the car making it look like somebody in the car?
When the owner checked the footage, they could see what looks like a figure sitting in the passenger seat of their car. The car was locked. No one in the household was outside,
I think it's
and by
ju-
morning, there was no sign that anyone had been inside the vehicle.
I think that one might be just
Some commenters have suggested a more mundane explanation that the shape is simply a reflection of foliage from a tree overhead, catching the infrared light from the security camera and creating the illusion of a seated figure. It's a fair point. Night vision cameras are notorious for turning leaves, branches, and reflections into shapes that look eerily human.
Pareidolia.
But others aren't so sure. They point out that the shape appears in a consistent position across multiple timestamps, and that it has a distinctly human silhouette that's difficult to attribute to random foliage. Was something genuinely sitting in this car at 2 in the morning? Or is this a textbook case of shadows and reflections playing tricks on a night vision lens?
Crack my neck. Please.
A scary photo taken inside an old village home in Pakistan has left viewers deeply unsettled. The house had been abandoned for some time, but it was far from forgotten. Locals knew it well. The property had long been the subject of stories about hauntings, and it was those very tales that drew a group of people to visit.
Okay.
The person who took the photograph, Reddit user What'sItToYou69, says they were simply documenting the interior of the home. It wasn't until they reviewed the image afterwards that they noticed something deeply out of place.
Yep, that looks like some type of face skull looking
There
thing.
in the frame appears to be a figure, or at least the outline of one. It doesn't match anyone who was present at the time, and the position suggests it was...
You can see the eyeballs, the nose, or the nose looks like it's missing, like you know how a skull would have, where it looks like the upside down of a heart, and then looks like the jaw, head.
standing in a part of the house where no one from the group had ventured.
So who or what is that?
Abandoned houses with reputations for hauntings exist across every culture, but in rural Pakistan, these stories often carry particular weight. Many villages have oral traditions stretching back generations about homes where tragedies occurred, deaths, disputes, or events that left a mark on the land itself. The belief in jinn, supernatural beings in Islamic tradition, means that reports of unexplained presences in old buildings are taken seriously by many in the community. These aren't dismissed as ghost stories, they're treated as genuine warnings. Whether or not you subscribe to those beliefs, the image is difficult to ignore. The shape has a distinctly human quality to it, and the fact that it appears in a house already infamous for strange occurrences only adds to the weight of the claim.
Okay.
A viewer named Tasha sent us something that's been bothering her since 2020, and after seeing it, we can understand why. Tasha was living in an old house in Kansas City, Missouri. She says the place made her deeply uncomfortable from the very first day.
Then why did you move in?
She could never explain why, but she refused to be there alone and kept every light in the house on at all times.
Gonna be an expensive electric bill.
On the night of February 12th, 2020, her birthday, she turned in early, around 8:30. Nothing unusual happened. A few days later, she was scrolling through her camera roll to photograph an item she wanted to sell online when she stumbled across something that stopped her cold.
What?
There in her photos was an image she never took. According to her Google Photos metadata, it was captured at 10:36 p.m. on her birthday, while she was asleep in bed, alone.
Photo took it. Wait, you're saying
The
somebody
photo
took a
shows
photo
a white
of her?
face, not a smudge, not a light artifact, a face staring directly into the camera from what appears to be just above where she was lying. What disturbs Tasha most is not just the image itself, but the implication. If this is real, then something was standing over her, hovering over her in her phone, while she slept.
Ghost was like,
Nothing else in the room was captured. No
That's
furniture,
creepy.
no bedding, no background, just the face. Tasha says she checks her camera roll every year after her birthday now, just in case. So far, nothing else has appeared. Was something truly lurking over Tasha as she slept that night? Or is there a rational explanation for how this photo ended up on her phone?
couldn't tell you on that one.
If you're a freaky fiend and can't
Got
get enough
goosebumps.
scary videos in your life, then go ahead and lick that subscribe button.
Did he just,
We drop the
did he just say lick?
If you're a freaky fiend and can't get enough scary videos in your life, then go ahead and lick that subscribe.
Don't lick it, because you don't know where this has been, okay? I would just say tap it softly or punch it in the face, but don't lick it because you don't know where your phone's been. Ew.
Button. We drop the very best creepy clips from around the internet each and every week.
I upload every day.
We don't want to freak you out, but if you're scared of ghosts, this next story might give you a bit of a fright.
A news clip shared by 10 News Australia covers a strange case out of the UK involving a hospice called the Norwich Priscilla Bacon Lodge.
Paranormal activity at a hospice in the UK. So much so, an exorcist was apparently called in.
According to newly released emails from 2023, staff reported unsettling experiences inside the building. Sightings, odd activity, and a sense that something wasn't right. One of the most disturbing details mentioned was the alleged appearance of a young child in a red dress.
Ugh.
And the reports were serious enough that the hospice chaplain reportedly contacted what are known as deliverance ministers. They're often casually described as exorcists, although the term can cover a range of religious practices. The building itself has a history that, depending on what you believe, might add to the atmosphere. It was built on the grounds of what was once a children's hospital. Staff reportedly wondered if that connection could explain the stories. Now, the NHS Trust has confirmed that a blessing took place at the building, but they deny there was ever an exorcism. So we're left in that familiar grey zone. Something happened that upset staff. A religious response was requested, but the official wording is careful. There are mundane possibilities here too. Old buildings can create strange noises. Stress and night shifts can prime people to misinterpret shadows and reflections. And once one person reports something, it can spread through a workplace quickly. But if even a blessing was considered necessary, you have to wonder what staff were experiencing day to day. So what do you think this really was? A stressed workplace in an eerie old building? Or the kind of case where the staff saw enough to make them genuinely afraid?
It was just more just a story. I was hoping for actual, like, evidence in my face.
Well, that's it. That's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you can't get enough of the scary videos, then check out those 2 links there for more. Leave us some comments down below or smash that thumbs up button. It really helps us out in the algorithm. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.
So with that being said, like he said, subscribe, comment, like, and share. It's free to do. It's easy to do. And why not? It just helps us out. And you get great content. So make sure you guys comment your thoughts down below. If you thought they were real, fake, fact, fiction, too scary, not enough scary, let me know. And then don't forget to subscribe on both channels. Hit the like button, share with your friends, and we will see you guys in the next one. Please take care. Be safe. As always, keep nerding on, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.